Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Show Up's Gran. Gran, your host. And before we dive into everything today, I just want to remind you guys all that I'm not a therapist. I'm just somebody going along his own mental health journey, giving you guys little tips and tricks along the way that you guys can take or leave them. It's up to you. Because at the end of the day, I feel like your therapy and your mental health, while people can help you, it's very important that you're an active participant in it, because that will help you the most. Because the more you understand the way your brain works and what things resonate you, the better you'll be. I can only give you a little guidance. It's up to you to take that guidance or leave it. Today we'll be diving into music, and before I've just played the songs for you guys on the radio and then talked about highlights before, but I did the thing a couple of weeks ago with Taylor Swift, All Too Well, and I'm not doing 10-minute songs but I do want to just read out lyrics and then just reflect on them and give you like some thoughts, especially because these songs resonate so much with me. The words are so important when it comes to showing grace to ourselves, because we all have this desire to be normal or to compare ourselves to others. And really, that's the danger in life, is to think that we should ever compare one person to another person. We shouldn't. We're all on different roads. We all have different paths through life. And all that matters is that we acknowledge that difference, and we don't compare ourselves or make ourselves feel less than because somebody else is at a stage that you wish you were in. Because at the end of the day, you are the only you, and you can't control somebody else's life. Only your own. With that, I wanted to dive into this first song, which is the Anonymous Ones by Amandla Stanberg. It was sung during the 2020 or 2022 Dear Evan Hansen movie. It's actually an additional song that I actually really enjoy because I feel it highlights something that the musical kind of alludes to, but it doesn't clearly state the fact that a lot of times we're putting up faces that we don't need to. A lot of times I think people are noticing us and they're not. They really aren't. But we do all these things to make sure nobody guesses that we have these things happening inside ourselves, because we feel people see us, they'll do something. Because mental health is just stigmatized so much. The reason why I never told I had these things happening is because I didn't want to get locked up, or like people think I'm crazy, or I didn't want to be treated differently. And the truth is, the reason why I don't like people refer mental health as mental illness is because I feel we all experience life. We all have these things we deal with, our mental things going on day to day. And mental health is just something that happens along our lives. We all have the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. All three of those things always happening. And while I don't know people's beliefs, I do think that we all have these things that we believe in, at least our core values, that help us navigate through life. And those things are usually meant to serve us so that we experiencing life better. And that's kind of what I like about the song, is it highlights the danger of putting up a front. We want to put up a front because we don't want to get noticed. We don't want people to see the thing. We're scared of acknowledging in ourselves because we're scared that if we acknowledge it, it gives it power. But what we don't recognize when we're in a negative mind space is that by not acknowledging and not telling people that you have this thing, you are giving it power. It is gaining negative energy that will eventually feel like it's too much for you to handle. And that's what I would caution against, is it's okay. You can tell people that you're upset, you're stressed. That's fine. It's beautiful even to share those tough moments with somebody that you love. I just wanted to highlight that because for me, especially at the beginning of what was going on with me, I felt I wasn't enough. I couldn't share the truth at the moment, because if I shared the truth, it would mean something was bad with me. But the point of radical acceptance is not just to accept the good things happening in your life. It's to accept everything. If you have a negative thing happening, accept it. Don't try to block it. Don't try to say that doesn't need to happen right now, or I shouldn't have this feeling because of this thing. Just accept that's happening and just let it happen and then move on, because that will let that tension and that emotion be released rather than slowly build up over time until it comes out in a very negative way that you have no power over. With that, let's dive into the song. Alrighty. The Anonymous Ones from Dear Evan Hansen, sung by Amandla Stanberg. You ever looked at people who seem to know exactly how to be? You think they don't need piles of prescriptions to function naturally. I want to stop there because that's the perfect example of comparison. She clearly is stating the fact that she does struggle with mental health, but she needs all these little pills to actually function as a human being. And she feels jealous of people who don't need that crutch. And I don't think that's a crutch. Your mental health is your own, and you shouldn't compare yourself to others because, again, sometimes imbalances in your system are outside of your control. So seeing the fact that you have this issue might just be the fact that these pills are helping you just balance out chemically so that you are able to function better. And even if you do therapy and you find a way out of that mental strain, is you still shouldn't judge yourself that you needed help with pills at any point, because that can really save your life, especially when it feels that it's too much and it's overpowering. I know when I first started therapy, I really, really needed my antidepressant, and it was because I was struggling so much with just figuring out the separation. And when I was finally able to separate myself from my mind, I was able to recognize what's actually Cameron and what's all this stuff that's just trying to send me down a rabbit hole of depression and sadness. Continuing. Well, look again and you might catch it. Just stay a minute more. There's this little moment after the sunny smile as their eyes fall to the floor. And the truth starts peeking through. They're a lot like me and you. They can fake a smile too. I'm stopping there because I feel we compare ourselves because we're not in somebody else's brain. We don't know how they actually are. How often on your day-to-day life do you not think, what's the life of a celebrity? Like, they have all these wonderful things, they're so great. And then every day it seems more and more things are coming out about Hollywood and things that happen to people on set, or things that happen, just these magical glamorous lives are false. Instagram is a lie that's commonly known. People put on fronts to make these magical dreamy placements on Instagram. A heightened reality on an app isn't really the problem. It's the way that we think that we have to have it that way is more the issue. Idolizing it is the problem. But all those people are putting up a front for something. Sometimes it's money, or sometimes it's to make sure nobody else can see how much pain they're in. For instance, I knew somebody who was the happiest person I knew, exuded joy. There were times that I was so depressed. The reason why I got happy again was because of this person. And then finally one day we were sitting and I was just, you're always happy. How do you do it? She almost continued the lie, and then the mask dropped, and she just voiced how much pain she was in constantly every day, but she just want to put that on other people. I think that's a respectable thing, to not want to put your emotional baggage on another person, but sharing what's going on with you, I don't think is putting your baggage on them. It's when you don't accept the fact that you have power over it, that their help is the only way that you get out. Definitely a therapist's help might be that way, or medication can help you with that, but you need to make sure that you are the driver. As long as you're the one behind the wheel driving, there's a way out of that emotional state. Let's continue. The anonymous ones never let you see the ache they carry. All of those anonymous ones who never know pain they bury, so they can keep on keeping secrets that they think they have to hide. Everybody's secret is they have that secret side, and to know they're somehow not alone. Well, that's all they're hoping for. What if they didn't have to stay anonymous anymore? I think that's my favorite lyric of the entire thing, and that is a big key reason of why I'm doing this podcast and why I continue to do it, is because I know what it's to be alone. There were so many times in therapy where my therapist told me, if you're worried about making it to your next appointment, turn to friends, turn to family, ask them to help you through. The assumption of a support group is a flaw I feel in mental health treatment right now, because a lot of times I meet people and the problem why they are as bad as they are is because when they turn to those people for support, they don't really have it. And when you're told the only way you'll ever improve your mental health is if those people that ignored you will finally support you, it makes you feel hopeless. I can't do that. I need another way. I need another path. And at one point, this did tell me that's the only solution. I don't know what to tell you. I went home and spent 24 hours, the most scared I've ever felt in my life. And then the next day, because I was in therapy, I was in partial hospitalization program. So I had therapy almost every day. But the next day I went into her thing, and it was therapy. And she told me that we should talk about this in front of everybody, things you have a problem with the therapist, and not to say it alone. And I was, well, you said you wanted this, so I'm going to respect that back. And I said, yesterday I had a problem with you as a therapist, because I voiced to you that I was concerned for my life. And this is early on in treatment. And I didn't have anything that was helping me cope. And I barely got to today. What can I do to make sure I'm okay until tomorrow? And then her only thing was, talk to your friends and family. I don't have that. And she was, well, it sucks for you. It was kind of the thing what she said, but that was the attitude. And so the next day, because she said that, I want you to understand as a therapist that if someone ever comes to you and says this to you again, you need to believe them when they say, I don't have a support group. I have nobody. And the fact that I'm here today is a miracle. I was just in a very terrible state. And if you had no coping mechanisms, no tools to give me, why would you let me go home? Why? To say, oh, your only hope is other people when they're the reason I'm here makes me feel I am too far gone. There is no point. That was my mistake. I'm just being very honest. And I said that to her. I was you can't brush off somebody, especially when they're in a partial hospitalization program. We are the people that need the most hope because we're on the verge of doing something. And so for you to brush me off felt you were saying, all right, go ahead and go do it. Let's just say I didn't talk to that therapist much after that, but I said this in group and everybody in group was on my side because the previous day she had said we should do this, and that's why I called her group. And then she was better, but we got other therapists more often, and then I found somebody who was really able to help me because her approach is active, and that's what I realized finally is that's the problem. Is all the solutions I'm getting is very passive and on other people. But this therapist was, no, you need to be the driver, and that's why I'm advocating for that. Is because when I found out that simple fact, it helped me survive so much more. And then instead of just being able to get to that place from one day to the other, I was truly able to thrive, and that really helped me. Let's continue. The parts we can't tell, we carry them well, but that doesn't mean they're not heavy. The parts that we can't tell, we carry them well, but that doesn't mean they're not heavy. The anonymous ones, noticed by none. The parts we can't tell, we carry them well, but that doesn't mean they're not heavy. What I like about music sometimes is it has a way of repeating, and a lot of times it repeats this 3 times. And the reason why I even read that way is, 1, I know the song, but 2, it's almost the more we keep a secret, sure we can mask it and you won't recognize that we are deeply miserable. But the more we hold the secret, the more we're weighted down. And then that's kind of what I was voicing. I'm so weighted down, I don't know how to come back up. I don't know how to swim back above the water. Continuing on, it says, the parts we can't carry, they're not heavy. The parts we can tell, we carry them well, but that doesn't mean they're not heavy. Again, more and more underwater. I don't know how to get up. I don't know how to survive. I don't know how to climb my way out of this hole I'm in. And that's why I need somebody to look up to help navigate the path, show me a way to survive long enough to get to a therapist, to get to a group, to find the things that are helpful to me. I think it's a big point is sometimes we're in a place where just simple things of this podcast might help you at one stage, but not help you in another stage. But you need to be able to recognize in your mind whether or not you need immediate help or not. But the thing that I always advocate when I start talking about this kind of tough stuff is I want to make sure that I tell you, because I asked a therapist when I was in this group, the suicide hotline, when are you supposed to call it? Because that's the thing that I worried about, because I was I don't know if it's today, but I often don't think I'll know the day until it's the day. Don't even think along those lines. It is not the day of is when you should call. If you are thinking about it at all, call. They will help you set an appointment. They'll help you find a resource to help you. They'll ask you how bad it is, whether or not you're in immediate danger. They will get you the help you need, because all that really matters in this moment is that you are here because you matter. You matter, and even when you think you don't matter, you do. And I want to highlight that fact because it can be very scary when you're surrounded by people who make you feel you don't. But you should recognize that you are a person. And I hope that most of you recognize that you should at least love yourself when nobody else does. I love people very easily. And that's why I do this podcast, is because I don't want you to feel alone, because I resonate with that so much. And so if you're out there with me, recognize that you are worthy of love and you deserve it. And even if, again, comparison plays a part, everyone tells you need to seek love from the outside, but you really only need to seek love from within. And when you find it, it's a very beautiful thing. And then the song finally ends with, the anonymous ones might just need this moment to remind them that there are more anonymous ones. They're out there if you take the time to find them. Just to know we're somehow not alone. Isn't that all we're ever really looking for? Maybe we don't have to be anonymous anymore. I think that's why I talk about this so much, is because at a certain time, I felt like I was the only person that was struggling, especially when I recognized within me that I need to share and have you share back. I need a friendship that if I'm sharing the problems of my life, I need you to share your problems. We are a team. We are there to support. But if I'm the only one sharing both sides of the coin, are we really friends? Because I don't want to just know when it's bad. If you're struggling, tell me. I know it's not always going to be great. I know it's not always going to be perfect, but I can withstand that. I can be there and hear that and still be there for you. And the thing that I love about this song is that if you take the time to look out for other people, you might see that we're more than you might think. And when we find those people, just approach them with compassion and care, and things might turn out differently than you expected. Funny enough, the next thing I wanted to do, since we were talking about feeling we were drowning under the water, not knowing how to get back up, I unintentionally made a reference to the song, and I recognized it as I was doing it, but it's called Head Above Water by Avril Lavigne. Most of her ballads and songs really resonate with me a lot, especially her ballads, because a lot of times she deals with relationship issues or just mental health things in her lyrics. And that's what really resonates with me the most, is it feels that struggle. One, you always get the like melancholy and compassion of like the truth of that moment and acknowledging it, while also fighting towards something that's hopefully better. At least for me, that's what I get from those songs. I don't know what other people get. Well, let's begin. I gotta keep calm before the storm. I don't want less. I don't want more. Must bars and the doors to keep me safe, to keep me warm. I'm going to stop there because it's so easy when we're struggling to shut off all avenues that we know might lead to more hurt. I know for me, I call it falling in love, but I think it's just I love people too quickly. And I don't know how to turn that off because that love is trust. Once you're there, I want to be there and I want to support you. And I hope other people who are my friends recognize that. But when I close off from the world, that's usually when these dark, festering thoughts grow stronger. And it's because I'm trying to protect myself in the most ineffective way. This reminds me of freeze, because we all have fight, flight, or freeze, even though I think that freeze could technically classify as being flight because we're fleeing within ourselves, because if we reacted how we wanted to, we might get hurt because we attempted to run, which is because my instinct when I've ever frozen was to run. I knew if I did that, I would get in serious trouble for it. And that's kind of the same thing, is like when I get the most depressed or when I feel I don't know how to control what's going on, I get so worried about any interaction. I get so anxious and stressed that I start turning to the most simple fix so I can just survive. Survival mode is how I've gotten along in my life for so long. And then I've realized how just toxic that is. And it's hard because a lot of times I try to compare my relationship with some people that I was close to in the past and how they are now. And I realized I care for this person more than they cared for me. And I keep trying to treat them as the person that I cared for back then. But they've shown me that we don't care for each other the same. And that's a hard thing to acknowledge. It can definitely be upsetting. But the number one thing that I will say about this is life is hard. But when you are honest with yourself, you'll start to build bridges with people that will give you the things that they want, that you want, as because the more you know how to be open and honest and how to navigate that, the easier life gets to just be there for somebody else as they're struggling, because you recognize that common familiar thing. Because the struggle is something that we can both go through rather than try to be one-upping or surviving alone. Continuing on. Yeah, my life is what I'm fighting for. Can't part the sea, can't reach the shore. And my voice becomes the driving force. I won't let this pull me overboard. That's actually the key thing for me. When I wasn't acknowledging the fact that I was depressed and I wasn't acknowledging how really bad it was, I couldn't hear me above the storm of negativity. It took me going to the partial hospitalization program to realize that there was a part of me that was my voice. But I had so much trauma and depression going through everything that I couldn't hear it. It was drowned out by all this other things that felt they were more important than me. And when I finally recognized the fact that that's not true, it's a balancing act. We are all equally important. We all deserve life. We all deserve happiness and to enjoy time with the people that we love. We all deserve those things equally, but I was sacrificing my own happiness to be, I guess, easier on other people, because them being happy meant me sacrificing a part of myself to let an encounter continue. And I don't want to do that anymore. That's the thing I want to give up in this next stage of my life. And it's hard. I recognize that not everybody has the same recognition or feeling towards it. I have something coming up and I'm trying to figure out if the benefit of me going is worth what it will cost me. And I keep coming up with reasons why it's a bad idea, but I'm really, really trying to find something that is worth me doing this because I'm ready to let a chapter end in my life and move on to the next chapter. I don't want to allow people back in my life whose only benefit to me is to make me feel miserable. I've tried to rekindle these relationships. I've tried to make it better, but no matter what I do, they will only see me as the person that they perceive me as in their head. And that's the thing that has helped me the most when it comes to this, when it feels drowning, is recognizing when people aren't actually viewing me, the person. They're viewing this ideal they have in their head that is their version of what Camron is. Because if someone hasn't talked to you for years, they don't know you. They know this person that they were around in the past, but they don't know who you are anymore. And that's something that was hard for me to grasp until now. Let's continue. God, keep my head above water. Don't let me drown. It gets harder. I'll meet you there at the altar as I fall down to my knees. Don't let me down. Don't let me drown. 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 Don't let me. Don't let me. Don't let me drown. So the thing I so much about the song already is it definitely puts you in a space for mental health, because the number one thing that they also say, which they let you in partial hospitalization group, it's all your life. So if you're spiritual, connecting to a higher power is a way to help you through hard times and help you through depression. We don't want to define that for you, because this is really what is your version of this, because having that allows you to build upon something so you get better. Or when you don't have somebody, you have this thing that helps you feel somebody's there that will help you pull yourself out of the water or push your feet off from deep under the ocean floor to help propel you back towards the water so you can pull out and finally get another breath again. And that's kind of the thing that I resonate so much with, is I don't necessarily have a religion, but I've always had a connection to this higher power. And that's what has helped me so much when I'm this is so bad. I don't know how to proceed, but I don't want to do something that's not returnable. And that's how I got myself into partial hospitalization program, because I was finding I need to talk to somebody, nobody in my life, because I already know that that's going to push me further towards the bad thing. So I'm going to speak to just somebody who I know is trying to help people with mental health. Continuing, it says, so pull me up from down below, because I'm on the undertow. Come dry me up and hold me close. I need you now. I need you most. What I like about that line is the fact that the undertow is basically the part of the ocean that actually pulls you. And if you actually get caught up into it, it's very hard to get out of it, because it just pulls you and drags you. And there really is no way to get out unless you get out of the water flow. It's very hard to get free from it. And so you need assistance to free yourself so you can get out of this dark place. Open yourself to help. Asking for that is so vital, because when you open yourself up and recognize that there is a problem, you can find solutions, because you have to radically accept the truth about something to get a solution that will help you. I help grow and become a better person. Let's continue. God, keep my head above the water. Don't let me drown. It gets harder. I'll meet you there at the altar as I fall down to my knees. Don't let me drown. Drown, drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let drown. Don't let me drown. Keep my head above water. Again, this is the thing I was mentioning earlier about the fact that this reading pattern and the fact that it's just getting more and more. And there was slight variation towards the end, and you're getting desperate because your negative energy is just so much that the ways that you used to cope with it isn't working anymore, and you don't have the tools, you don't know where to turn, you don't know where to go to get out of that situation. And it's finally by asking something else to give you those tools or to help pull you out of this dark place that was finally able to help you. For me, I had to find that within. If you have a good support group, you can turn to those people. The only thing that I was trying to highlight is the fact that don't let them become the people that you need to get out of that situation. They can help support you to getting out, but don't let them control that, because they may not be there all the time, and they may not either be capable of it, or shit may change, and they may not care enough until there actually is a real thing happening. Because a lot of people say things that they don't mean because they're trying to help you feel better, but feeling better isn't an action to actually improve a situation. It's just to get through a current moment. And that's something that I had to learn, is I need help to get through this current situation. I need to stop repeating this pattern, because I keep repeating it. It's just going to get worse and worse. Continuing, and I can't see in this stormy weather. I can't seem to keep it all together. And I can't swim the ocean this forever, and I can't breathe. God, my head above water, I lose my breath at the bottom. Come rescue me, I'll be waiting. I'm too young to fall asleep. Oh boy, I've definitely had those thoughts before, and it really is so hard when you are reaching out to people and it feels you're not getting support, you feel this thing inside yourself. I know that I something wants me to get help, but I don't know where to turn. And that was kind of my thing with how I even got into partial hospitalization program, is I didn't even know who to call or what to do. Because again, that's why I had to call and ask about the suicide hotline. But eventually I don't know where to go, but I know that I have this thing that's inner network. And I called my insurance company and I was like, listen, I'm be honest with you. I am dangerously close to doing something. I don't know who to turn to. I don't know where to go. And I started crying, and I was, can you please tell me where to go? Because I don't know if I need a therapist or if I need something different, but you help people and you know the network. Please just make an appointment with somebody here that I know will cover me so I can go get help with somebody. And then my insurance person stayed on the phone with me until she got a social worker on the phone. And then that social worker was the one who organized me getting into partial hospitalization program. And she actually didn't even tell me that I had to do that. It was an option. And that's why I didn't have a problem with it, because I recognized it as bad enough that I thought that maybe I should be in the hospital. But they were, if you don't know, this is a scenario where you just come for a couple of hours and then you can go home. We're not locking you up. It's not that kind of situation. But you just come and we help you through it. We teach you skills. And then it's 6 weeks, and hopefully at the end of it, you feel you're ready to navigate life with skills that will help you deal with these things. That class is why I'm on here right now talking about this and DBT and all those things, because we take physical education in school to be physically healthy. Being mentally healthy is vitally important as well. And I realized some of these things, we just took one of the 5 days of physical therapy and a mental health day would have been so helpful, because there really are these skills that once you grasp and use them can really help you recognize the difference between a peer selling something to you and the reality of you. And I feel when you're going through high school and you're going through puberty, your mind's changing so much. And so you do rely on other people to tell you that you're normal, because you're also new to the planet and you don't know what is okay to derive from other people and what things you should only take from yourself. And that's why like DBT is something that like really teaches you how to like know what is you in here and how to process what somebody says to you and help you derive your own core values. So when people are trying to challenge them, you know, it doesn't really matter what they say. I know that this is me and I have the tools to fight against people trying to tell me I should feel a certain way. And I feel like, especially now, that this skill would be so helpful for schools to implement, because it would help people separate and understand each other more. Moving on to the last part of the song, it says, God, keep my head above water. Don't let me drown. It gets harder. I'll meet you there at the altar as I fall down to my knees. Don't let me drown. 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 And keep my head above water. Above water. That's it for the song. And what I really about it is the fact that it's not trying to be anything more than a plea. And I feel when we finally acknowledge that we're pleading for help, that's when we can start actually receiving the help. Because a lot of times in the anonymous ones, we're putting up faces because we think that we have to hide this thing from somebody. But usually that's really happening is you're hiding the truth from yourself. And with this one, it's almost continuation, and you are all that facade, all those like masks that you're putting up are coming down, and all that negative energy is just becoming too much and is making you feel there is no hope. As long as you can fight and keep your head above water, you'll be able to get somewhere, but that's all inactive. And you have to be able to get active to actually move on to that next step of fighting for yourself. And that's where this next song comes in, which is a little bit more chipper, a little bit more happy. And it's called The Champion by Carrie Underwood, featuring Ludacris. Here we go. I'll be the one standing, 2 hands in the air, I'm a champion. You'll be looking up at me when it's over. I live for the battle, I'm a soldier, yeah. I'm a fighter, Rocky, put your flag on your back like Ollie. Yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm stronger, pay my dues, can't lose. I'm gonna own ya, A. Until you think about getting into the ring, it doesn't feel like you have power. And the reason why I wanted to end with this one is once you decide to get up, once you decide to actually enter the ring, life becomes so much easier, because now you can train, you can get the tools, you can be ready and to fight for your mental health. And when you have the tools to fight, you'll be able to recognize when you are actually in neutral, when you are in balance with yourself. And so when you know you're in balance, you'll have the tools to actually be able to say, okay, I'm here, I'm ready, I know that I'm thriving, I know I'm either happy or sad, but neither of those are bad, but I'm here and I'm no longer drowning, I'm up, I'm above the water, I'm fighting, and as long as I'm here and I'm present, I know that I have it within me to be capable of conquering anything. Continuing on with the song. I've been working my whole life and now it's do or die. That's definitely what A Head Above Water was about. I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I'm the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion. It is so important to recognize that we are the champion of our own lives. Like I said, you can't rely on others to get your mental health in check. You have to champion for yourself, because when your voice is the loudest in your head, when it's telling you what you deserve and it's telling you, no, this is my core beliefs, you're not going to tell me that's not who I am. I'm not going to allow you to push me backwards so you can feel better in your own head. And just because we have different opinions about something doesn't mean your values are less than mine. So those are all tools you use to say, I do care for you, but I also have a different perspective, and I need you to know that I'm not trying to win something. I'm trying to tell you what it will cost me to give you what you want, and it is too much of a cost for me. And that's why I have an issue with that. You're fighting for yourself, but now you're using these tools for helpful communication and not just using fists. That's not why I put this up, even though it is, boom, boom, boom. It's this, but you're doing it mentally, mental boom, boom, boom. When they write a story, they're all going to say that I did it for the glory, but don't think that I did it for the fame. Yeah, I did it for the love of the game. Yeah, and this is my chance I'm taking. All the molds I'm breaking. All you people watching on the TV, you go ahead and put your bets on me. I've been waiting my whole life to see my name in. To be honest, I'm sharing this song because a lot of it reminds me and gives me hope. It's one of my pep songs because acknowledging your dreams and then recognizing the fight that it takes to do everything you need on the day-to-day to get to the point of achieving your dreams. And that's what it really is. There's going to be times where I fall down and flat on my face, and I can let that defeat me, or I can get up and I can fight again. And I'm unbreakable, I'm unshakable, because I'm determined and I will not stop until I achieve what I want. Let's continue. I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion. It takes a lot when you are knocked down mentally to finally get up the courage and to get up the acknowledgement to forgive yourself for the things that failed you and just rely back on your training and just fight more. Just get to the next step. Once you know what you can do to help, all it takes is getting up again. All it takes is just fighting more. And the more you fight, the better you will be. That's kind of what I love about this song. Just fight for yourself. And the more that you show who you are, the more people will love you. But more importantly, the more you'll love yourself, because you'll know that no matter what other people do, you will no longer lose faith in yourself. You are strong and you are the champion because you are surviving for yourself and not for other people. Continuing, born champion, Luda, because this is Ludacris's part. C is for the courage I possess through the trauma. Yeah, H is for all for the honor. A is for my attitude, working through the patience. Hey, money comes and goes, so the M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent. The P is for persevere. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary because I'm never giving up. Boom. Again, it's a really great song, but it is an anthem of just not losing faith in yourself and not losing faith in that life can be better. And really the problem isn't the world, it's the people you surround yourself with, and you're not going to let them tear you down and take away this moment or this dream you have for yourself. All you have to do is have faith in yourself and what you believe in. The more you fight for that truth you have, the better your life will be. As we continue, here we go. Say they asked me how I did it. I just did it from the heart. Crushing the competition, been doing it from the start. They say that every champion is all about his principles. Carrie. I'm invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I am the champion. I am the champion. Yeah, surpass all rivals. It's all about who wants it the most. I am the champion. Fight for what we believe in. That's what champions are made for. I am the champion. Yeah, champion. The only lyric that I don't agree with that when it comes to mental health is it's all about who wants it the most. Everything else I really believe in, but mental health is definitely just about balancing the balance of your life. And we all want that, so I don't really think that that's who wants it the most. It's just how we all navigate and figure out our own brains to know how we get to that balance, you know? If we give ourselves the care to understand what we need in life, things will get a lot better because we're not just assuming things, we're actually understanding ourselves as people. And that's a really good thing. And this like 3-part thing was just really taking you through the journey of, we're not recognizing things, but we want to get better. And then because we're not recognizing it, head above water is what happens when we just let things boil down and not face it. But when we finally face it, we learn how to thrive. We learn how to fight for ourselves. We know how to do more than survive. We know all those things when we finally get up and fight for who we are as people and ourselves and just be there for yourself. That's literally what this whole thing is. But with this podcast today, I really hope you enjoyed it. These lyrics, I was surprised at how truly connected they are to mental health and DBT in general. I hope you guys enjoyed them. That is it for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a little thumbs up, a comment. You guys enjoy any of these songs yourself? You hear songs that have helped you in the past. As always, if you are listening on a podcast, if you could review this, it helps spread it to more people. Any little thing you guys do helps. Again, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. But as you go out about your week, as always, don't forget to show up for yourself because you matter. Bye-bye.